what's up with it, man? It's your boy Gino from MPRS Kutz. I'm with my oldest son. We're doing a low ball fade or mid fade. So the mid fade is gonna go right up in here. So this is gonna be a dope cut because or a dope tutorial because it's gonna really explain a lot of stuff that people really kind of mess up when I'm looking at their cuts. Sometimes to fade into like actual hair, where it's actual hair on top. Like people kind of get this mixed up and messed up. So this cut basically, like, I'm not gonna take nothing off the top really. We're just gonna fade the sides up and just blend it in with the top. And I'm gonna show y'all how I do it. So first thing I like to do, I take my fade masters and we're gonna make a straight line going all the way across. With this one, I'm not really gonna touch the top, but I still like to comb out or pick out the top of the hair so that, especially like the sides, because these parts will come out a little bit, and if you don't really pick it out and you fade into it, once they go home and pick it out, it's gonna be like, it's not gonna be faded right here. So I'm tenderhead myself, like it hurts when people pick my hair, so whenever I'm picking somebody else's hair, I always try to be really careful with it and real light with it and not doing too much. And I'm always asking my client too, like, hey, how does this feel? Does this hurt? And if they cool with it, just kind of do your thing. Sometimes I done had people take the comb out of my hand and they pick it themselves because they feel like I picked the hair too light. But you always want to have the hair loose, so that the comb of the clippers can go through it easily. So got the hair all combed out. So now we're just gonna do the straight line going all the way across. So without further ado, let's do it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a straight line going all the way across. So we're gonna start right here on his temple. So I'm gonna start like right here below where his curve will be at. I'm just gonna start like right there. So we're just gonna have the clippers closed. I'm sorry, all the way. So this is open. This is open. This is closed. Closed is gonna make that ball line, that zero gap line. So let's just do that. Don't have to press too hard. You want to make sure your clippers are pretty sharp. Usually when I do mine, I like to have my line like curve a little. So we're gonna start from here and I'm gonna go to the back. We're just gonna bring it down a little bit. I usually don't do my lines like straight across. I kind of like let it dip just a little bit, me personally. But it'll work the same way if you did it straight across. But the dip just kind of make it, to me, just give it a little more definition. Some people don't like the dip because they say it kind of make their hair look like a mohawk. So it all depends on the client. So right now you see it's basically, instead of going straight to the back, I kind of go down, and then on the next side, hold on. So I try to go down with it like this, and then when I come up on this side, we're just gonna come up with it. So now we're gonna do the same thing. Brush the hair so it can loosen up. And you're gonna have you're gonna make these two lines the same. You want this line over here, you want this line over here to be the same as the line over here. So sometimes I just like to look and see where it's at. It's like right here by his eyebrows. This line right here goes to his eyebrows. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other. So one of the best ways to do it is go ahead and go to this line. Go to this side, start this line like right by his eyebrow. And we're just gonna come back and we're gonna meet ourselves in the back so that we can get this line. We can meet ourselves back here. So we're gonna come back here. You can see where I'm about to meet these two lines together. Let's see. Yeah, so now you see that I'm about to meet these two lines together. And once you do that, you just go and clean it up. You want these first two lines, or all your lines, you want all your lines to be really straight and neat. You don't want it to be like curvy and doing the most. You want it to be, straight as possible. So afterwards, we're just gonna take our clippers and just clean up the hair on the sides. Making sure it's all bald, the hair on the neck, clean it up. And just come and clean all this up. Do the same thing over here, clean all this up. And once you're done with that, you should have a clean chili bowl. That's how you want it to be. So right now, this is how this should look. Just a chili bowl going all the way around. See it? Oh, it's going to the bottom and then it comes back up. And you want to make sure they both they're even on both sides. So let me see. Yeah, we're pretty even on both sides. So cool. So once we get this first line looking like this, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to use our edges and we're just going to clean this up because right now it's still hair here. So with a bald fade, you want it to be as bald as possible. So, okay, so with the next part, we're just going to make sure that it's bald. We're going to use our babulous edgers or trimmers. And we're just going to take it and with this line, you don't want to bring the clippers all the way up to this line. You want to bring it like a half of a centimeter away from it. You don't want to come all the way up to it. You want to be like right up underneath it like this. You want to come to about like right here. And the reason because it's still going to be a little hair right here. So it's going to be a little hair there, then it's going to be nothing. And that's just going to help it blend, like help the fade look more like a fade. It's real subtle, but it makes a difference, trust me. So you're going to do the whole head like this, just bald it out. Pull the ear forward to get behind the ear. And we're just going to spin and do the whole thing. Pull his ear down, and just make sure it's real clean. Like the cleaner you make these, the cleaner you like do these lines and have it bald, the better your cut is gonna look. So now we done. We got this all clean at the bottom. We just got a nice little chili bowl going here, and I'm sorry about it. And we're just gonna go to the next step. Cool. So now I'm gonna use my wall seniors. Let's see. Yeah, my wall seniors. And we're gonna make another line, just like with the mohawk or whatever. We're gonna make another line going like an inch a little higher than this one. So now we're just gonna take our blade, take our clippers, and this is closed. This is gonna make it bald. But now we're just gonna open it up. Close is bald. This is the level next to being bald. So now we're gonna have our clipper all the way open. And we're just going to take it an inch higher than this line right here. And like I say, still you want to have nice clean lines. Cool. Just turn your client and just do the same thing throughout the whole head. Just go a little bit higher than that first line that you made. Stay up like an inch above. Not too much. And on this part right here, you don't want to take this part too far into it because you want to keep this. You want to keep this part right here for his edge up. So you don't want to take this part here. You don't want to cut this off and make this too low. You want to keep this kind of thick. So when I get to that part, I just kind of take my clipper and come like right underneath it. So now we keep this, and now when you go into this, you have this this second layer. You want to focus on taking this line here out. So let me show you how I do that. So when we started this line, whenever we started this line, we had the blade open. So now we're going to close it because down here was bald. So we can close this and we can actually keep it all the way closed because it's not going to get as bald as this because we use the edges for this. So now we're just going to take this clipper with the blade all the way closed and we're going to barely tap this line at the bottom like this. And just keep brushing it. And then like every so often just open it up a little bit more, go a little bit higher. Open it up a little bit more, go a little bit higher. And then just open it all the way and go all the way back up to that line. And then you see that this line is faded out. So look down for me. No, hold. Just hold your head out. There you go. Cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and take this whole line out. Just barely tapping. Clippers all the way closed or barely open. But I like to keep it all the way closed on my ball fade, honestly. Use the corners of the teeth, open it up a little bit more, go a little bit higher. Open it up a little bit more, go a little bit higher. You gotta let me know when you do that, man. Okay, turn it around, we're gonna do the same thing. Close it all the way. Put your head down, Bert. Okay, close it all the way, and we're just gonna take this line out. Stretch the skin if you have to. Clip is all the way closed. Barely hit this line right here. Come all the way around with it. Just, you want to barely tap it. Open it up a little bit more. Come up a little bit more. Barely tap it again. Open it a little more. Come up a little more. And you want to just keep opening it up until it's all the way open, then you back up to that line. Now we all the way back open, and we're just gonna come back up to this line. So now you see that, and then we're gonna close it back again, just try to clean it up a little bit more. So now you see that that line is like completely gone. Tap the bottom, open it a little bit more. So now if you look on this side, you see that this line is blended compared to this one. You see? So basically to fade, you just basically make a line and you take a line. Make a line, take a line. So now we're gonna do the same thing over here, and we're just gonna take this line out. Close the blade all the way. And we're just gonna come at the very, very tip of it. Like I say, you're basically just fading it out. It's level, so you're gonna start at the bottom level and just gonna open it up just a little bit more. Come up a little bit more. Alright, brush it. Always brush it. Open it a little bit more. Come up a little bit more. Until you have it like all the way, till it's all the way open, and you just come all the way back up to that line. So it's just a gradual thing. Then you want to come back down, tap it a little more. Just go back over it. It should be good. So we're going to come here and do the same thing. All the way closed, barely tap the bottom. And you gotta trust the process too. Sometimes it may not look like it's doing anything, and you won't see it until you all the way done. So just barely tap the bottom. Brush it. After every time you hit the clippers, brush it some more. Open it a little bit more. Go up a little bit more. Brush it. Open it a little bit more. Now you can go all the way up to it. All the way up. Now the clippers is all the way open. And this is how we made this line with the blade all the way over. So make sure you want to keep this part on this side just like we did on the last side, so that his edge up can be, nice and defined. So now if you look, this whole bottom line that we had is gone. Cool? So now we're just going to make another line. So I'm going to use, okay. So now I'm going to use my Wall Seniors again, and I'm gonna use the red 1 guard, and I'm gonna go all the way, have the blade open, and I'm just gonna go up a little bit higher right here and make another line. So this is a 1. This is a 1, and you can open it. Once you open it, it's like a 1.5, a 1 and almost a 1.5. So we're gonna have it open, and we're gonna make another line, like an inch. I guess not too high. 1/2 inch really. And brush it so that you can see the line in it. Let me show you. So when you're using the white, whenever you're using the red guard, you can hit this part now. I'm sorry, George. Keep you back. Okay, so whenever you're using this guard, you can hit this part now, because you don't want it to be too dark. So let's keep going all the way around. And his hair is kind of going in this direction, so whenever you fading it out, you want to go in the opposite direction. So his hair is going this way, I'm gonna cut it going this way. Guard, blade still open. Okay. Same thing. Looks right. Keep on. On going, just keep on going until, I'm sorry, you have a line going all the way. Brush it with the grain of his hair. And a lot of times you will see the direction of the hair, so wherever the hair is going, or whatever the way they brush it, or the direction of his hair, you want to brush it in that same direction. Cool. Now keep going. Brush it. And like I say, this is another line. So now if you look, we cleared this line out. Now we have this line to take out, and we have to take out this line. Cool. All right, so let's just go ahead and make sure that this is all even. Just go over it again. Like I say, just brush it. Oh. Cool, so we're just gonna go over it again. My blade is still all the way open. Cool, so when I get on that side, I'm gonna just go over it again, all the way open. So now, this part here is, nice and even. So now we're gonna focus on taking this bottom line here out, because this is, like I say, basically taking out lines is how you fade. So to take this bottom line out, we just got to close our blade and stretch. Me personally, I stretch the skin just a little bit, and I'm gonna close the blade. Make sure it's sharp, and we're just gonna hit the very, very bottom of this line to take this line out, with the blade all the way closed. This is open. This is closed. So now I'm just gonna barely tap the bottom of this line. And that's gonna basically take this line out. We're just gonna do that whole thing with this whole line. And like I said, you don't wanna take this all the way up here, because we use the guard open to make this line. So you just want to barely go to about like right up in there to clean that line up. And then, like I said, you can barely hit the bottom, but if you want to go higher, just open the guard up, just like you did the first line. Just open the blade up. So now we're just gonna spin them around and do the same thing. You see, barely hit the bottom. Don't go up to this line. Just barely stay at this bottom. Like if you can see, like right here. Yeah, if you're looking right here, you can see that I'm barely tapping that bottom. Gonna brush it, open it up a little bit more, go up a little bit more. Just not hitting the top. Stay away from this line. Cool. So we're gonna do the same thing with this one. I'm gonna open it all the way back up again so I can clean it up, make sure it's all even like I did the other side. Alright. Make sure it's all even. My blade is all the way open right now. I'm just making sure this, you know, this line, I'm just making sure this area right here or this step is just even. Okay, so now I'm gonna close my blade all the way, and we're just gonna barely tap the bottom like we did on the other one. So basically, you wanna make sure you brush it and it's all flat. Basically, we wanna take out this line right here. Cool. So now, like I said, we're gonna keep the blade all the way closed, and we're gonna barely tap the bottom of this. Don't take it all the way up, because taking it all the way up, that's what we did to use the hat. That's how we did it all the way open. So if you close it and you took it all the way up, you will only have this line. You want to have this line, but just you want to have this level, but you want to have it faded out, you know. Okay, so we just gonna hit the bottom. Let me see, we're gonna hit the bottom of this. Stay at the very bottom. Brush it, hit it, and brush it. Brush it some more. So now if you go to this hair right here, it's going back. This hair right here was kind of going forward, but now this part is going backwards. So you want to basically fade it going this way. Okay, so we're gonna turn them around a little bit. So, no, not you. I'm sorry. So just barely hit the bottom of it like we've been doing, but you want to turn it going in that direction. Got it. Keep going it. Brush it back. Just remember, whenever the blade is all the way closed, never bring it all the way up to that line. I'm just gonna hit this back part right here. Blade all the way closed, stay at the bottom. Go with the direction of the hair. Boom. And we pretty much faded on this bottom part right now. Cool. So now if you look, now you look and see this whole thing is pretty much faded out. Sometimes you have to open it up and, like, you know, just touch it up, clean it up a little more. Alright, cool. So with his hair, I like to use another level, which is my this hair. We can also take out, I use my ambies with my 0 guard. And I just like to hit the so we're gonna take our ambies with the 1 guard, with the 0 guard, and I like to just hit the very, very bottoms of this, like the very, very, very bottom. Because some people hair still be kind of thick. So this is the last guard that I use for my fades. It's like a 0. This is the purple guards for Andes. You know, open it up a little bit. Look in there. So it's just seamless kind of. So just barely hit the bottom of it, you know, just to kind of clean it up a little bit. So now we got to focus on taking out this line. Yeah, so now we have to focus on taking out this hard line right here. And we're going to do it the same way how we did with the Mohawk. We're just going to use our 1.5 guard with our Andes. And we're just going to kind of, with our wall seam is 1.5 guard. And we're just going to kind of go up. And once we get up to the crown of the head, we're just going to fade it up with the white 1.5 guard. And once we get up to about right here, instead of going around the head, we're going to come back with it. So now we're focusing on taking this line here out. Cool, so let's get to that. So now I'm going to use my walls, the white guard, the wall 1.5, and I'm going to have it open. So just want to brush the hair, and we're just going to stretch the skin. We're just going to go all the way up. We're going to go all the way up, and once we get to here, we're going to come back with it. You don't want to go over it. You want to come up, and you basically just want to go straight up with it. Straight up and come back. So open the blade, hit the bottom of it, come back. See now that line is starting to like fade out. Back. So now we brush it. So keep on coming up. So now we're gonna close the blade, and right up in here we're just gonna like clean this apart. You don't want to take it too high. You want to stay up under it. Open the blade back up, come up, and come sweep. I say, Jalen. Oh man, it is too. Up, back, up, back. So once you do that, what I like to do is close the blade and come over and just come down with it. So just come down with it. Do the same thing, brush it. So you want to brush it to where it hang over a little bit. You just want to kind of chop off the little part that's hanging. Just a little bit. So now you see that the fade is, pretty clean, nice and seamless. So you want to turn around, do the same thing on this side. Okay, in the back, let me see. I'm going to come down a little more. Okay. If you look at the back of his hair, you see that the pattern is going, it's kind of going this way. So when you fading it, you want to go that way. Okay, so we're going to open the blade back up all the way, and we're just going to go up and just go straight up. You don't want to go into it and go curve. You want to go up. Just go straight up till you can't go up no more. Like, I guess that's a good way to explain it. So with his hair going this way and not this direction, you want to come all the way up. See what I'm saying? And on this side, you do the same thing. You see this hard line right here. You want to take this out. So you basically comb it down. And we're just going to have the blade all the way open and just go up with it. And like, you want to grade, you want to kind of like rake it. You don't want to just dig into it. You want to feather it just a little bit. But with the blade all the way open. Keep brushing it, And you can't be afraid to go into it either, man. I think it's one of those things where you just gotta keep doing it, and eventually, become second nature. Right now, I just close the blade and I'm just cleaning up the bottom right here. Because we took the 1.5 like way up here. So with the we took it open way up and came back. So now as long as we stay like right up in here, we good. Basically, you don't want to, wherever you have the blade open it, you really don't want to you don't want to take the closed blade up to where you had it opened it. Hopefully that makes sense. Alright. So yeah, we good. So if you check it out now, we have a nice clean fade going all the way around. Let's see on this side how we looking. Okay, nice and clean. So like right up in here, it's a little bulky, like right up in here. So we're just gonna close the blade and we're gonna lean mode and just kind of clean up in here a little bit. I'm using my 1.5 because I know that I took it up right here with the 1.5 open. So now I'm gonna just use it closed right up in here. And another thing, now that I'm using it closed right here and I'm brushing, if it's still a little bulky, I'm gonna go down a level. So this is a 1.5, so now I'm gonna go use my 1 and just kind of clean it up a little bit more right here. So we use our 1, open it up, because you always want to start open first. And me personally, that's what I do, start open. I'm just gonna go a little bit higher, like right up in here. Just not going high as I was just now with the other 1.5 or the guard that's higher. You always want to stay under. You always want to stay underneath. Brush it, close it some more, and just kind of clean up the little bottom. Use the corner of the blade sometimes to kind of clean up the bulk. Keep brushing. You always want to brush. I think we good. So I'm gonna also take my blade, like use my the tips of my blade like right here, and I'm gonna just kind of come right here and just kind of graze down, you know, just to kind of make this part here fade into that part. So using the tips of my teeth. And do the same thing on this side. Same thing. See, like it's kind of bulky right here. You want to close the blade, actually. Have your blade closed and just take the tips of it and just barely graze it. So now we're about to set up for this edge up. And when I do the edge up, I like to like I said with the mohawk, with the last cut, pretty much everything is repetition. Cool. So now I'm going to take my one guard again, and I'm just going to take the guard and I'm just going to come down on the hair right here in the front, so that whenever I edge him up, I don't have to worry about this hair hanging over once he starts sweating or something like that. So basically, I'm just going to come straight down with it. The guard is closed, and the clippers are closed, and just come right here at the very tips and barely cut it, you know, brush it. You know, just use the tips of the blade, barely chop it off. Just want to make this part flat. Oh, yeah, that's right. Run the whole thing. Make it nice and flat on this side too. Right here in this area, you want this to be nice, flat, not bulky. Well, cool. So now we're about to get ready to do this edge up. Okay, I'm using my Fabulous Pros again, my gold boys. All right, so now we're gonna just come right here, and you want to make sure that this part right here is lined right up with his with his eyebrows. So you don't want to take it too far out. You want to be like right up in here. And you know, and with this part here, you don't want to go too far up into this. You want to stop like right here by his natural edge up. And you also want to make the line slant a little bit. Okay, so I always brush the hair forward, and I just basically press and swipe. Cool. So now you see that that line is there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to keep it still, and I'm just going to turn it like this, and that's going to give me that curved line right here. So I'm going to brush it down, come right here to the tip of it. We're going to press right here, and we're just going to keep our finger, middle finger where it is, and just orbit around it. Clean up the little hair right here. Use the tip of the blade, the corners of the blade. And you want to be real light hand with it. So we're going to brush, and now you see that we have this perfect little whoop-whoop. Whoop-de-whoop. So, about to do his edge up. You want to make sure they holding their head straight, because people like Jordan like to hold their head crooked. So we're going to hold his head straight, and we're going to basically, we're just going to go straight across. We're going to hold the blade right here. See where his hair like first started? We see where the thickest part of his hair you want to start at. You don't want to go too far into it. You want to keep it real subtle, so whenever his hair growing back, you don't see any of this new growth growing back. So this is what we're going to do. So you're going, like I said, you're going to find the thickest part in his hair. You're just going to make a line, and you're just going to go straight across with it. Cool. So. I'm gonna hold his head just to be on the. Alright, cool. So you basically just keep going straight with it, and it don't have to be perfect. The line right now doesn't have to be like really, really sharp, because there's a lot of stuff we got to do until then that we got to, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot more work to do, so you good. Make sure you're going straight across, and make sure he's holding his head straight. Just go straight across with it. Clean all the hair off the forehead. Come in here. Clean all that off. Just brush it off. Sorry. You don't want to brush too hard on your forehead either. You want to make sure you're pretty soft on that. So watch your feet go. So yeah, so we're gonna do the same thing on this side. We're just gonna make this line. So this gotta go basically slanted like that. So brush it down. Just press and swipe. Press, swipe. And you're just gonna come right here and just wanna connect these two. You know what I'm saying? You don't wanna go too deep into it. Just clean that up. And just brush it. So now we got a straight edge up, and we're gonna do the half. We're gonna do the curve again. Like I say, brush it down. Keep your finger at a certain spot, like right up in here, and just kind of orbit it around it. That's it. Cool. Just clean it up a little bit more, you know, come right here. Okay, so cool. That part is done. So now we're gonna do the razor, and after the razor, we're gonna add the topic on the front of the edge up to give that nice look. You know what I'm saying? And we good. Okay, before the razor, I like to use my, my little solution. I add just water to it. On the top of this hair, spray it, spray the water. Just a little bit. And we're gonna use the curl sponge before we do the razor. Sometimes I use the curl sponge before I even edge them up. But in this case, we're gonna have to go over the edge up again, which pretty much every case, you're never gonna do the edge up once and not do it again. So we're gonna go over the edge up again, so it's cool. When you curl it, you just wanna make complete circles and hitting the side, the back, the top, the front by its edge up. Okay, and after that, we're going to use a fresh razor, as always, and we're going to do the razor. So let me clean them off a little bit. I'm going to leave can't really see it right now. But anyway, this is like shaving gels from Smash. It's called Krispy Kreme. I use this before I use the razor. And we're just going to lay a client back. Going to use the Krispy Kreme, just going to use a little bit, not much, like a little dab. And we're just going to come outside this edge up. And we're just going to put it on, like outline it. You don't want to put it on his hair, really. You just want to mainly put it on his skin. Just do the full edge up. You really just need like a dab of this. You don't need that much. It really will last you forever. I'll put the link in the description to show y'all where y'all can get that from. But we're gonna just come back, and sometimes I rest the client on my stomach like this, and I'm pulling the skin. Gotta stretch the skin. 45-degree angle, not straight up and down, 45 degrees. And just slide it real subtle like this. Come to the edge and stop. Cool? I'll drop you down just a little bit. Pick your leg back, bring your leg back. Kind of put it in between. Alright, cool. That'll work right there. Alright, cool. So, come back, stretch the skin, come up. Come up to his line, stretch the skin, come up to his line, to his hairline. Yeah. We're gonna do the same thing on this side, stretch the skin, come to the corner. Well, okay, so the last thing we do is we use the topic. Let me set the camera up and I'm gonna come right back to you. After you done did the fade, after you did the edge up, used the razor, did all that, the last thing you want to do is use this stuff called topic. And this is just going to make the edge up a lot more defined. And the reason I do everything first is when the topic wear off, you still have a clean edge up. So basically you just line it up with a card or a business card or anything flat. And you just want to kind of be a good look, probably like, maybe like about 3 inches, probably like 3 to 4 inches away. And not even 3 to 4 inches, probably like 5 inches away. And just, just let it mist on there. You don't want to be directly on it because you don't want it to be real heavy. You want it to kind of cover up the light spots and just like blend in a little bit. So you're gonna do the whole thing. Put your foot back for me. Touch your back. Okay. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Oh yeah, straight man. You can make people think your edge up crooked. Cool. We're gonna do the same thing right here. And just hold the card. It's about right here. And you just wanna, feather it on. So it's not too much. And bam. And after you spray the topic, you want to close your eyes for me, buddy? Have your client close his eyes and just spray with the holding spray. The Tresemme, I use the Tresemme holding spray or whatever, but I don't really use spritz because, spritz be kind of, flaky and stuff. So you just want to come back and just want to put a nice little even coat over the whole thing. Boom. You want to get a blow dryer and just kind of dry the hair And dry the you want to dry the hardened spray. Keep your hand in the front so that you can feel how hot it is, so that it's not too hot on the client. You don't want to be burning the skin. And cool, should be good. Okay. And after that, we're just gonna take the edges and we're gonna go over his edge up one more time, and we'll be done. Cool. So you wanna hold your head straight for me? You gotta make sure you have your brush. You got your brush in your hand, and hold your head straight. There you go. Okay. So you just wanna press and swipe. So you come here, you want to press and swipe. Do the same thing on this side. So you're just gonna press in the front right here. Swipe down. Keep it right on the edge up. Make sure it's flushed in. I'm just gonna come over here to the side. Cool. So now we have the edge up nice and crispy. Like I said, you don't have to make it too sharp at first. You know, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna come back on this side, and I see that this part right here is kind of like drooping down just a little bit from right here to there. You just want to bring it up. Do the same thing, get this corner right here. Make sure the corners are nice and sharp. And boom, we are in the dough. So the last thing I like to do with cuts like this, I basically take my edges and I like to, let me see. Cool. So if you look right here, over here, you see how like this little part here is hanging out, it's all uneven and stuff. You want to make sure that everything is even. With this cut, I kind of want to put like a little part right here, something real subtle. So honestly, like, I'm not gonna go too far into it. I'm gonna barely tap right here. So real little subtle line. Thicker. Just keep on going. I like to start real light, real skinny at first, and then if I want to go thicker, I can always make it, make it thicker. So something real subtle like this here, like it. So the last thing I do is clean off the skin. Clean off the sides. Little wild hairs up top. And we're gonna clean up off of this here, right? And see the angles. That's why it's good to have mirrors in the shop so you can see different angles of it. And just like that, we're there. Alright, so just like that, wrap it up. Got a nice ball fade. Real clean, real simple, not that hard, really effective. Came out super dope. And if y'all have any questions, y'all can just let me know, and I'll try to answer them the best way I can. And until next time.